what I don't want is to not speak to you guys like experts, and I want everyone to understand the the main components of how the advertising platform works, meta ads, obviously. And then I want to, dive a little bit deeper into a couple of the most common issues people face, and then how to completely destroy those issues from ever coming up ever again. So, if you couldn't tell already, we're going to go over tracking, meta ads, and messaging. And before I go into it, if I speak too fast, if I get a bit too excited, and you're not understanding what I'm saying, just tell me to shut up or just tell me to slow down a bit. I'll repeat everything I just said. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Yeah, let's get it. Awesome. So, just so you guys know who I am, what I do, I'm a god level marketer. Just no one knows it just yet. I've worked with over 140 different businesses across all of my offers in various industries, including high ticket sales, which is what we're all in, e-com stores, low ticket sales, and more. And these are some of my client results that have been in my offers, which is really, really, really awesome. This is per month, by the way, which is cool. So, that being said, the first thing I want to dive into is the psychology of a marketer. So, first things first, we need to be able to think like a marketer. Okay. And how we do this is first understanding what the act of marketing actually is. So, if I typed in marketing definition, it is the activity or business of promoting and selling products or services. Key thing here, because there is a million and 10 different things to do when it comes to marketing. But what we need to focus on is the thing that helps us directly acquire more clients and customers, that one thing. And then we want to make the highest leverage moves we can at all times. So we've all heard of the saying of, moving the needle forward. What I want us to think is how can I use as little energy as possible and flick the needle so it moves forwards 100 miles. That's the kind of leverage I want to talk about and how we need to be thinking. Now, one analogy I like to use is that it is the casino, the casino example, the casino analogy. Marketing is gambling, if you didn't know, because we don't know what could happen with ads and things like that. However, if you go to a casino, you go to Vegas or whatever, the house wants you to lose. However, Meta, this whole advertising game, the house wants you to win, but they just can't communicate with you directly. They communicate with you and they give you little hints with signals and data. So, our job as marketers is to acquire more customers, make the highest leverage actions at all times, and rig the game in our favor using the hints that the Meta advertising platform gives us, which is just signals and data. Does that make sense? Take that as a yes. Let's get it. Awesome. So, don't want to call anyone out, but be honest with the little raise of hands. Who has ever thought that their business was broken? And this is a safe space, I promise. Ouch, called out. Okay, I didn't mean to call you out. Okay, so everyone thinks their business is broken at some point. Everyone thinks, oh, I'm bad at sales, or I'm bad at the ads, or my ads aren't working. Something's broken, right? More often than not, the answer is right in front of you. It's in the data. And this is my real tracking sheet. This is my very real tracking sheet. Most people, they don't know where the one constraint is or where the one bottleneck is in your entire business, in your client acquisition process. Okay, so we need to use tracking sheets to identify and diagnose these issues. More often than not, your ads aren't actually broken. Your CPMs are probably fine. Your click through rates potentially could need some work, but they're probably okay too. So your ads aren't broken. Your cost per click is okay too. It might be a different thing that's broken somewhere else in your funnel. Okay, now to give you a very real example, on September 12th, the conversion rate on my funnel was 4%. I thought that this was terrible because before it used to be 15%. The day afterwards, I made one tweak to my headline and a few changes on my VSL, and it went from 4% to almost 32% conversion rate, like an 8x. simply by changing a few words on my funnel. Some people call this entire process the bottleneck analysis. I just see it as you look at every single step of the customer journey and you just try and think which is the easiest metric to double or half if it's obviously you're looking at something like cost per click. Okay, so what you guys need to be doing is looking at all of your metrics step by step and actually identifying where the bottleneck is and how you can immediately double either the flow of people coming through or half the costs. Okay. When, by the way, if you wanted a number as to how this affected my cost per call, this here on a over like a month time frame halved my cost per call. And now let me show you something crazy. If I go into Google Docs here, new document, my 3% or my 4% headline was this is exactly what I said. A funnel built to 2x your monthly clients in 90 days. The thing that resulted in this headline to go from a 4% conversion rate to an 8%, what was it again?
Like 38, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah. 32%, yeah. The thing that changed it, all I did was write this instead. No, not even that. I wrote down double your monthly clients in 90 days. I said the exact same thing in just a different way. And look at the impact it makes on your conversion rates. This resulted in my cost per call going from $250 down to like $120. Absolutely ridiculous, right? So when you do your tracking correctly, let me put this full screen. When you do your tracking correctly, you will see very absurd things happening. You will see your cost per call literally half. And instead of you thinking your ads are broken or something else is broken, you just look at the numbers and look at the one thing that you could hyper focus on for today and immediately half your cost per call. Okay, so more often than not, your business isn't broken. It's simply just a bottleneck in your entire funnel. Okay. Now, let's go into the real source. Okay, who here has heard of the Andromeda update? Meta ads. No? Okay. So if you didn't know already, there's been a very big change with how advertising works. This has resulted in ads fatiguing quicker. It's resulted in um, CPMs rising, cost per result increasing, like really just set fire to a lot of advertisers' businesses. Okay. And where every single one of you guys can actually find this online. So if you type in Meta Andromeda, there we go. This cool website called engineering.facebook.com. This is where the technology of Meta, the engineers, they put all their information on what they're working on. This was posted December 2024, and the highest spending ad accounts, so the ad accounts that were spending like 1 million per month, they had these those were the accounts that were affected first. So Meta could test how they could collect data on how the actual new algorithm works. If you noticed your ad results tanking from July, August, September, it is because this got rolled out to your ad account. Okay. Now, what does this mean? How does this work? Question. It me, yes. What does this mean and how does it work? So Meta's ad engine isn't random, of course, right? You don't just run an ad and it gets shown to random people. There's a process that these guys follow that helps you understand um or helps Meta understand where your ads should go. Because remember, Meta is on your side. This $1 trillion corporation, they want to be able to help you and make you money because it means you will spend more money with them. They want to help you, right? Now, I got all this information from Meta's like engineering at Meta and Meta's newsroom. Okay. How your ad is valued is, or your ad campaign is valued, is how much you spend multiplied by the estimated action rate multiplied by the ad quality. Okay. So, long story short, if you want your ads to if you know something's working and you want it to perform better, spend more money, dial in your messaging, and make it more interesting. Those are the only three things you need to do, and those three things are in your control when it comes to spending money on ads and all that good stuff. Any questions on that so far before I dive into how it actually works?
Nope.
Nope, bet. Awesome. So the way the platform works, and this is, I guess, for the nerds who watch this recording back and they want to understand how the ads actually work. First of all, Andromeda, that algorithm, it's going to sift through the millions or hundreds of millions of ads on the ad platform, and it's going to pull those ads up into places in which it deems the ads need to go. So to give you an example, in the coaching industry, you'll have life coaching ads go in one spot, career coaching ads going in another spot. Then you'll have mindset coaching, business coaching, fitness coaching. All these ads will get pulled up in their own um in their own little category. That's what Andromeda does. It sifts through all the ads and it pulls them up in their own categories. Meta's lattice system, the second part of this, the ranking, this predicts which ad will drive the most value and it ranks your ad based on the ad quality. Okay. So this value equation, the bid is in our control, obviously. Meta Andromeda is the mechanism that determines how good your messaging is. Meta's lattice system is the mechanism that determines how good your ad quality is. Okay. And if you wanted to know how you can actually see how good your ad quality is, if you head into Ads Manager, where's my Ads Manager? Go to more and you go into, sorry, you go to columns and you go into customize columns. If you type in ranking, these are the three subcategories that Meta uses to determine if your ad is good quality or not. Okay, so if you ever want to see if your ad was good quality or bad quality, select these rankings in your column presets, and it'll literally tell you above average, average, or below average. So let's get right back into this. Okay. Any questions on this so far? Or should we dive into how this actually affects your guys' businesses?
I got one real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's go.
So with the columns and the ranking, like quality rate, engagement rate, all that, I
Hmm.
think you still need to do all the tracking because even if Meta is like bringing you people, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right people, correct?
Yeah. So that your quality of your engagement, that actually what you're referring to is comes from your messaging and your pixel.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
So to give you like an easy example, if in my ad, if I started talking about LTV and CAC and AOV, I'm not gonna attract like a normal person, really, like a non-business owner, am I? So your messaging and what you say really affects the type of people you bring in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. Let's go on. So another question. What do you think is the number one reasons ads don't perform? Or should I let me clarify. The most slept on reason ads don't perform. Slap it into
Targeting.
chat. Targeting? No, not really. Oh, it's a good one. It's a misconception. Any ideas? Creative, Logan. That is a good one too, but not quite. The number one reason, or the most slept on reason as to why ads don't perform is your messaging. Okay. And before we actually go into this, it's not enough for you to know the demographic of your ICP. to have your ads perform. The most base level thing you can do when it comes to your messaging is knowing what they do for work or what age range they are. Like that's just not enough. It's not enough to have a really specific ad that would work very well with a new update and getting the results you want to get. You need to know the three things. You need to know your ICP, you need to know the level of awareness in which they're at, and then you need to know what portion of that market are you going after. Okay, so let me break this stuff down for you. So you have the demographics. So they might be, I don't know, a between 35 and 50 years old. They may be a male and they're out of shape. The psychographics, what's going on in their mind? Okay. So that would be something like um they feel not very confident, right? But if we were to go one level deeper, and this is the part everyone sleeps on, is what is their current condition? What are the conditions that that specific demographic and that specific psychographic is in right now, and what condition do they want to be in? So to give you an example, with me right now, I'm currently having an office being built out, where I'll be moving my entire setup to. Okay, if there was an office setup company and they were targeting entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, that's the demographic, psychographic, the ones that are feeling super sluggish because their setup is in their bedroom, right? That I guess that's the psychographic. They're feeling sluggish. Their current condition would be their setup is in their bedroom. Their dream condition is having a super luxury setup somewhere else. That is the condition that they want. So with your ICP, get abundantly clear with what the demographic is of your ICP, the psychographics, and then their conditions in which they're operating at. Russell Brunson breaks this down with something super simple. It's just something like what is their current state and what is their dream state. We need to go deep and we need to look at their current condition and their dream condition. Does that make sense? Just give me a big thumbs up if it does. Yeah, awesome. Now, once you understand like your ICP clearly, you've got their demographic, psychographic, and their conditions. The next thing you need to understand is their level of awareness. Okay. Are they unaware to you? Are they aware of the problem they have? Are they aware of the solution that you offer? Are they aware that you're offering the product? And are they purchase aware? Okay. Unaware people are the hardest to sell to. They need more education. Purchase aware people, how do I explain purchase aware? Being purchase aware is like going into a convenience store and you're staring at the chocolate bars and you're like, oh, should I buy it? Should I not? You're right on the edge of closing and making that purchase. That's what being purchase aware feels like. Okay, so you need to understand what level of awareness you're also going after. More often than not, we would typically be going after the problem aware people and the solution aware people, unless you have a huge brand or you're going mass market with the advertising strategies. Okay. And then one step, the third thing you need to do, the third step is understand what portion of the market you're actually going after. Right. So 3% of the entire market, right? So let's just say you're going after um, overweight men in their 50s who are aware of their problem. 3% of those people of that specific market would be ready to buy right now. 33% of those people would be open to buying. These people need a little bit of convincing. The other 33% of people, they're not really thinking about buying or anything like that. And then 31% of people are never going to buy. You never, ever, ever want to try to sell to someone who's never going to buy from you. So once you have these three things dialed in, for example, overweight man in his 50s is my ICP who is, I don't know, not having sex with his wife enough. That's his current condition, and his dream condition is he wants to have more sex with his wife. He is aware of his problem. He doesn't know how to fix it. Let's say the solution to that problem was some type of program specific to that. He is problem aware, and I want to go after the people that are 3% in market buyers, people who are ready to make a change now. When you combine these three things in together, your messaging becomes a little bit clearer. Or no, your messaging becomes abundantly clearer, and the type of funnel you should be using also becomes clearer as well. So to give you an example, once you've dialed in your ICP, if you're going after someone who is problem aware but not aware of your solution, and you've already exhausted the in-market buyers, you need a funnel that offers a little bit more education. So DM funnels would work well, webinar funnels would work well here, potentially a VSL funnel, potentially, if it's more on the educational side. But more often than not, VSL funnels are there to harvest the 3% in-market buyers. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, 100%. Now, let's jump into creative diversification. So everybody knows, Logan, I think you mentioned this, that creatives are very important. But because of this Andromeda update thing and like how Meta ranks everything, it's essentially hyper personalizing the ads and it's only showing the most relevant ads to people. Okay, and there's really crazy technology that Meta has. Meta has a technology, by the way, that there's a public patent on this, where they can, as you're scrolling, they can gauge the emotional reaction of the content you're consuming and then give you more content so you stay glued to the phone. Right? There is in fact, I will show you this. If I go down to here, this is the pattern that Meta has. Techniques for emotion detection and content delivery. This is publicly available, and this Meta has had this technology since 2014. And they also have another technology where they can look at all the sensors on your phone and kind of understand the environment you're in so they know which type of content to serve you. Now, I'm not saying they're actively using this technology, but I need you guys to be aware that Meta has alien level technology since 2014. So God knows what they're working on right now. Meta is extremely powerful. Okay? So because they're extremely powerful, they want to be serving the exact right type of ad to the exact right type of person. And they've got trillions of data points on this, like petabytes of data points, right? So our job is to dial in the messaging and understand all the reasons why someone would buy from us and make creatively diverse ads. So to give you guys an example of what I'm doing, believe it or not, a lot of people buy from me because I am brown with a beard and a turban on my head. Like 80 or 90% of my clients are like brown people because they like the way I look. That is a very real reason why people purchase from me. So one of my ads I should be launching is me talking about the way, like, I should be in the ad first of all. Maybe I can touch on how culture has affected how I operate within my business, and then I can turn those videos into static images, testimonial videos somehow if someone else is saying it, a founder story, carousels, anything, right? So the reasons why someone buys, let's say you can list out 10 different reasons why someone would buy from you specifically. You need to turn those 10 reasons into 10 videos, maybe 10 carousels, maybe 10 static images, and if applicable, UGC ads, testimonial ads, features and benefits of your program type of ads. Does that make sense? This is the way forward. Like I'm telling you. Now, how do we actually set up our ad campaign? If you didn't know already, the ad set is where the targeting occurs, right? And Meta is insanely good at targeting. All we really need to do is dial in our messaging. Yes, we can put our own audiences in there. If you're doing retargeting ads or slightly more advanced strategy, if you're going mass market where you're spending 3K per day or more on ads, your setup will be a lot different to this. But more often than not, if you're spending like 100 to like $1,000 per day on ads, you can get away with a setup. All you want is one campaign, one ad set, and then 10 to 50 creatively diverse ads within the ad set. Okay, these 10 to 50 ads, again, need creative diversification. And you need to be reloading these ads once a month because they will end up fatiguing, right? Reason we do this is because the Andromeda engine, Meta's AI, is better at finding the audience than we are. And all we need to do is feed it diverse, high quality creatives with consistent messaging. And remember, messaging is the demographic, psychographic, and the conditions of your ICP, the level of awareness that they're at, and which portion of that specific market you're going after. Are they in market buyers? Are they not really aware? Do they need a little bit of convincing? You need to dial in just one specific ICP and make a whole bunch of ads attacking that one person.